بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we're continuing from our discussion on the chapter of Taqwa, which we began yesterday, walhamdulillah, and we mentioned the definitions that some of the Imams and the Sahaba gave for Taqwa. In a nutshell, Taqwa is that we fear Allah Azza wa Jal by staying away from His prohibitions, and through this we create a barrier between us and the punishment of Allah. And of course by fulfilling the obligations that Allah Azza wa Jal has made obligatory upon us. And this is what the word Taqwa means linguistically, to create a prevention or a barrier. Alhamdulillah, Allah Azza wa Jal, He mentioned that Jannah, paradise, has been prepared for the muttaqeen. Paradise has been prepared for the people of Taqwa. As Allah Azza wa Jal, He said, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah said, rush to the forgiveness of your Lord. Be hasty towards the forgiveness, or compete with each other towards the forgiveness of your Rabb. And towards a paradise which is as wide as the earth and the heavens, which has been prepared for the people of Taqwa. أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Then Allah mentions and He describes them by saying, الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. They are those who spend in times of prosperity and adversity. They are spend on others. Whether things are going good, they are spending. Whether they are going through a rough patch, they are spending on others. And they are also those who contain themselves when they become angry. الْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظِ وَالْعَافِينَ عَنِ النَّاسِ. And they are those who forgive people. وَاللَّهُ يُحِبُّ الْمُحْسِنِينَ. Then Allah describes them further as being people of ihsan, and Allah loves these people who are good doers. So Jannah has been prepared for these people, and these are the people of At-Taqwa. Our author, rahimahullah, now he mentions some of the verses that speaks about Taqwa. And the first verse that he mentions is in Surah Al-Imran, verse 102, where Allah Azza wa Jal said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ. And you hear this verse every Jumu'ah. O you who believe, O people of Iman, have taqwa of Allah. حَقَّ تُقَاتِهِ. The way He deserves to be feared. The taqwa that Allah deserves. This is the taqwa that we should have of Allah Azza wa Jal. Yesterday we mentioned the tafsir of this verse by Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu, who said what's meant by this is that Allah is obeyed and not disobeyed. And Allah is remembered and not forgotten. And Allah is appreciated and not unappreciated. This is what this means. Our author explains this verse by saying another verse of the Quran where Allah Azza wa Jal said, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. Allah said, fear Him, have taqwa of Allah as much as you are able to. And they say that this is the tafsir of the previous verse. So what is meant by have taqwa of Allah the way He deserves us to have taqwa of Him? It means have taqwa as much as you can. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. And this doesn't mean as much as you can, so it's something not that important. No, this means that we should strive to perfect our taqwa. To have taqwa as much as we can, meaning that you push yourself to fear Him as much as you can. And so this shouldn't be taken as a way of looking down on taqwa or thinking taqwa is as much as you can, so it's okay, it's in your abilities. No. We have to strive our best to fulfill taqwa at its highest levels. We benefit from this verse as well. This verse, فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ, that if a person does not have taqwa, if a person is unable to have taqwa in the most perfect sense, then he should fear Allah Azza wa Jal in a sense that he is able to. And this will mean that from person to person, the levels of taqwa will be different. And this is what we've spoken about with regards to ihsan, with regards to iman, with regards to all forms of the deen, Islam. that the levels that people have are different. So at times, a person may be more fearful than others, and at times his levels of taqwa will also be lower. This will also be dependent upon his iman. When the iman becomes low, the taqwa becomes low. So the person ends up sinning more. When his iman is stronger, his taqwa becomes stronger. And so he sins less, and he fulfills more of his obligations, and he gets closer to Allah Azza wa Jal. So the first ayah, or the first two verses that the author mentioned is, fear Allah Azza wa Jal as much as you can. Or firstly, fear Allah Azza wa Jal the way He deserves to be feared. And this is then interpreted by the second verse, which is to fear Him as much as you can. To push yourself to perfect your levels of taqwa, because this is what Allah Azza wa Jal deserves. This is what Allah Azza wa Jal deserves of us. والله تعالى أعلى وأعلم وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.